Hello there and welcome to our grocery tips video. We're going to go into our top 5 tips for cutting down on your grocery budget, and be sure to stay tuned for the end of this video where Kat's going to be showing you an awesome recipe that is low cost and absolutely delicious. Let's jump right into it. Our first tip is focused on where you shop. Shopping at your local farmers market, your CSA or community supported agriculture, or shopping online through a quote-unquote ugly produce store can help you cut on your grocery costs, especially those of fresh produce. Personally, I use Imperfect Foods, which is an ugly produce delivery system. They have specialty food items for different diets, such as vegan diets as well as gluten-free diets. And I find it super convenient that they deliver straight to your door. And at least in my area, Northern California, I'm able to get fresh produce, like even grapes and strawberries, for way cheaper than I could at a traditional grocery store. In addition, find out if there is an outlet store near you specifically for groceries. Here we have the aptly named Grocery Outlet, and I know that they are a nationwide store in the United States. Find out if there's one in your area because they have incredible prices and deals, which are also on some of those specialty vegan, gluten-free, etc. items. Tip number 2 is to try and eat the same types of meals every single week. This will not only help you with planning ahead, but it will help you from going over your budget. When your meals are pretty much the same every single week, it makes it so much easier to create a list and have an approximate number of exactly how much you're going to be spending on groceries every week and every month. Tip number 3 is to only go grocery shopping once a week, or if you can stretch that to every week and a half or 2 weeks, that would be even better. Limiting the amount of time you spend in a grocery store will also limit the amount of money that you spend in that grocery store. Make the most of what you buy, see how much you can stretch it so that you can really narrow down what you absolutely need in your grocery budget versus what is a want in your grocery budget. Not only will this help you cut down on food waste, which is such a huge problem in our country, but this will also help to make sure that you have extra money set aside for when you need to buy more expensive specialty items, such as things like protein powders, which can get really pricey. This leads perfectly into our 4th tip, which is to try to cut down on food waste as much as possible. When we throw food away, we're throwing our money away. By limiting the amount of trips to the grocery store, we can make sure that we cut down on that food waste and make the most of what we buy. I know in my household, it can be really hard to buy certain items in bulk, especially produce, even potatoes, that last for a really long time. But with it just being my boyfriend and I, they go bad before we're able to use them all. So even though we technically got a better price per pound on those potatoes, if we're throwing a quarter of them away, we really didn't get that great price. So even if we're buying a smaller amount that maybe is more per pound, since we're not buying them in bulk, ultimately we are saving money because we are using everything that we bought. Final tip is to make sure that you are using coupons as well as using grocery apps. Those ads that come in the mail, I know they can be annoying, but you may find that Safeway or Walmart or wherever in that particular week has a great price on something that you buy that can also be stored in the freezer, like maybe meats or certain types of veggies or other non-perishable items. And it's worth it to make sure that you jump on that opportunity. Sometimes your local grocery store will even have its own Facebook page. I know that the grocery outlet near me does, and they will post what deals they have going on that week, which makes it super easy for me to plan out my grocery trips. In addition, those ads can be helpful for things that aren't grocery related, but that you'll need to buy at the same place. For example, I love getting my monthly Costco ads in the mail, and I can tell if the windshield wipers or motor oil, etc. that I typically purchase are on sale at Costco so that I can stock up on those, not pay full price later when I know that I'm going to need them eventually. In addition, using rebate apps such as Ibotta at the grocery store can help you save a lot of money in the end when you get money back from the items that you purchase most often. Those were our top 5 tips for grocery shopping and staying on your grocery budget. Now, Kat, take it away!
Hi guys, Kat here, and today I'm going over one of my favorite pantry recipes, and this is the homemade biscuits. I got this recipe from Sugar Spun Run, and it only has 6 ingredients, and it's really easy and simple to make, and it's my favorite go-to because you can use them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And so let's get started. Yay, biscuits! So what you're going to need are 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar. I put a little bit more, I use more like 1.5, and then 1 teaspoon of salt and 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter that needs to be super cold. And then 3/4 cup of either whole milk or 2%. I don't recommend using any other kinds of milk just because the consistency gets kind of weird. So quick tips, like I said, you need very cold butter. So I place mine in the freezer for 20 minutes, and it's because we are going to grate them. And because of that, you don't want warm butter. It's just going to melt all over your hands. So please, please, please use cold butter. So step 1, preheat your oven to 425 degrees. In a medium bowl, take all your dry ingredients and combine them. So take your flour, baking powder, sugar, and salt. Then grab a grater, and then you're going to take your cold butter and grate it right on top of the dry ingredients. If you don't have a grater, you can just cut up the butter finely and then mix it all together. Then you're going to add your whole milk to your mixture and use a spatula to start folding them in and creating this biscuit dough. And it should look something like this. Now we're going to transfer your dough to a well-floured surface, and you're actually going to use your hands. Don't use a rolling pin, use your hands, and you're going to actually work the dough together and start folding them. I don't recommend folding them more than 6 to 7 times because you don't want to overwork your dough, and we want the nice layers of a biscuit. And then if it gets too sticky, just add a little more flour to it. Now we can cut and actually form our biscuits. So use a biscuit cutter, or if you don't have one, you can use a glass cup and create a shape to it. And based on this recipe, you should get around 6 to 8 biscuits. Now we can put them on your baking sheet and throw it in the oven for 12 minutes. And then once we take them out, just brush some butter on them and they're ready to serve. And they should look something like this. Well, thank you for watching our video this week on tips and recipes on how to keep your budget low. And if you want to see more videos like this, please let us know in the comments, or if you have any other recipes you would like to share with us, that'd be great as well. See you next time.